everybody, welcome to Stamping with Melva. Just give me a minute and I hopefully will go live on Facebook, my group as well. There we go. All right, think I'm there. Waiting for comments. Okay. All right, everybody, welcome to Stamping with Melva. I'm Melva Peters and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in British Columbia, Canada, and you can find me online at stampingwithmelva.com. It's Wednesday, I almost said Tuesday, it's actually Wednesday night tonight. And last night I mentioned that I was going to do smooshing as my technique tonight. It's been a while since I've done this technique, but I had a team meeting on Sunday and one of my team members, Gabriella, did an amazing demonstration. She actually created a landscape scene using the smooshing technique. I'm not sure I'm going to do it as well as she did. It was just so amazing. I'm going to create a bit of an underwater scene. We'll see how that works out. For mine, I'm going to use the Sea Turtle stamp set. So let's see how it goes. If you've never done smooshing, it's kind of fun, a little bit messy, but hopefully it will turn out. All right, everybody, I'm going to switch over to my desktop and we'll get started. Okay, so this is the Sea Turtle. Now, I have to admit, I haven't used this stamp set. Hey, Holly, welcome. Yeah, me too, Holly. I don't know. It's been a while since I've done that. So I haven't used this. This is actually a reversible stamp. So you can stamp one side and you get the detailed image of the turtle and the other images. And if you turn the stamp over and put it on the opposite way on your block, you get the solid piece. So we'll see how that works. Except I don't think I've ever used a reversible stamp, but we'll see how that goes. And then it's called My Small Business, which is a stamp set in the annual catalog. And it's perfect if you're a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator and you run a business. But I love this because of the thank you sentiments, like made for you, handmade for you. So this has lots of uses, even if you don't have a small business. It doesn't have to be stamping business. It could be any small business that this would work for. But I love the thanks and the thank you sentiments on this one, so that's why I'm going to use it. All right, so let's do the smooshing first. Now, one of the things that Gabriella told us was you can use your I always, when I've done this before, used a silicone mat, and they're not very big, so I always ran out of space on them. You can use your glass mat if you have one, but she actually used a piece of plastic. So I just got the new sketched plaid embossing folder, and they are 6 inches by 8 inches, so they're nice and big. So I pulled it out, and that's what I'm going to use. So even though I've got the glass mat, this will just save me from cleaning up too much. The other tip that she shared with us was, now I typically have used either watercolor paper or the shimmery white when we had it, but she used thick basic white. So that's what I'm going to use. Probably will still soak through, but not as much as if you use the basic white. And I've cut my piece 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, so bigger than I actually want it to be. Okay, so the first thing, I'm going to use these 3 colors. So Summer Splash, Pool Party, and Soft Sea Foam. So that's kind of my underwater scene. So I'm going to start with the lightest, which is, I think, Soft Sea Foam. And so you can use reinkers as well, but this was a really cool technique using your stamping blocks. So I'm just kind of running this along. It's got stuck. There we go. And it doesn't really show all that much because Soft Sea Foam is quite light. And then I'm going to take Pool Party and I'm going to overlap it. Let's do it the other way, shall we? And it won't do that. So I'm getting some light, some dark. And then this is Summer Splash, so this should be even darker. So, okay, so the next thing you want to do is take your water spritzer. Hey, Connie, welcome. So I'm just going to now spritz this. Okay, let's see how this goes. So I'm now going to take, and I'm going to put this kind of in the middle, well, in the middle of my paper. And this is definitely soaking up the water. So we'll see how this goes. That's why it's called smooshing. Ooh, isn't that cool? Wow, I'm really impressed. Look how fun that turned out. Gosh, without even really worrying about it. I was quite worried that it was going to not turn out very well. So I'm going to do another one, just because one, then I can have a second piece, but also because I think I'm going to stamp my turtle on it. So that's the pool party, and I think I have enough of the, well, maybe I do need a little bit of Summer Splash. It is not watercolor paper. You can absolutely use watercolor paper. This is thick, basic white paper. So it definitely, it's not too bad. It hasn't soaked through all that much. It's definitely softened the paper up. All right, so this one I'm going to go down a little bit more. So I'm going to get a little, maybe less. Actually, I'm going to go this way. I'm going to get less of the soft sea foam and more of the Summer Splash. Gosh, this is so easy. I'd forgotten how easy this was. Oh, isn't that cool? So just by thinking about it, so when Gabriella did the demo, she used a yellow, like Daffodil Delight. She used, I'm going to say balmy blue, and then I don't remember what green she used. Look how easy that cleans up when you've got just a piece of plastic. And then so green, yellow, and blue to be the grass, the sun, and the sky. And it looked so pretty when she was done. She created this kind of landscape. So that was way easier than I remember. So I remember doing smooshing using reinkers and putting them and dropping them on and then kind of getting a real mess going. But this was so easy using my stamp pads and just kind of rubbing them along. And look how pretty that is. Now, if you wanted to make this a little bit less organized, I'll say, with the lines, you could do just kind of random sections of the colors. Again, I would start with the lightest and then go to the darkest. Because if you get some of the lighter colors on that dark, it's not going to matter so much. So I'm going to just take my heat tool and just dry this a little bit. Because I want to stamp on part of it anyway with the turtle. One of these is going to be my background. So I want it a little bit, definitely a little bit drier, so that the tuxedo black or the other colors I'm going to use don't bleed all over the place. Okay, that's not too bad. So a couple of things. This first one I did, I definitely spritzed it more. So on this one, I did less spritzing. So I've got a little bit of white, which is absolutely fine. It's a little coarser because you can feel the ink. And this one is a little less smooth. But for the turtle, I think this is going to be my background. And this I'm going to stamp my turtle on. That's true, Sandy. Yeah, if you use watercolor paper and you can rinse some off. That's true. I find sometimes stamping on watercolor paper, you just don't get that crisp, clear image like that you do when you stamp on the basic white, your thick basic white. That's why I thought I'd do this. Okay, so let's take this really big So it's reversible, like I said. So one side is really detailed and one side is the flat. So I'm going to start with the really detailed. Let's see how this goes. And I'm going to start with Pool Party because I want it to be quite light, I think. Actually, no, I'm not going to start with Pool Party. She's changed her mind. We're going to start with, I want this to be detailed and show up. So I'm going to start with the Summer Splash. But I am going to stamp off because I don't think I want it as bright as Summer Splash. So let's see how bright that Summer. Oh yeah, that's dark. Okay. All right. So I'm just going to take my turtle. Trying to decide where to stamp my turtle. Try not to have it be so obvious a line, but I'm obviously going to get a line here. It didn't work out. Okay. I can't decide how to do this. Let's just stamp. Just stamp, Melva. All right. Oh, isn't that cool with the pattern in behind? All right. So now we'll do a couple of turtles. So again, and I didn't stamp that off like I said I was going to, did I? Okay. So let's do this one in kind of a greeny blue. Ooh, he's really light. Okay, let's try that again. I guess I do have to use it full strength. Okay, so let's take, there is no die for these or punch. So we're going to just take and fussy cut around the turtle because we're going to pop that up on that other piece. So you could use all sorts. Originally, when I was thinking about this, I was thinking I was going to do a sunset. So I was going to do like a nice yellow and an orange and a maybe melon mambo or something like that. That was my initial thought. And then I saw this sea turtle stamp, and I changed my mind. Got a little tail. All right, so there's the little turtle. So this is the detailed side. So I will show you what it looks like when you stamp using the other side of it in just a sec. I know, isn't it amazing? I don't know why. I'm just like you guys are. Or maybe you're not, maybe I'm just that way, but I see samples. I'm not going to buy something and then I see a sample and think, oh my gosh, that's so cool. Yeah, this was one of those that I saw an amazing sample and I don't remember who made it and I decided I had to have it. And yeah, this is the first time I've used it. So it's thick basic white, so it's a little stiffer to cut. Okay, so there's my turtles. I'm saving that piece because you never know when I might make it. So I'm just going to show you on here what it looks like when you stamp. So I don't know what color this is, Pool Party. So when you stamp the solid image or the detailed image, then you turn it over. So there's a few of these reversible stamps in the catalog. And there's a plant one as well. So you turn it over, and this time I'll just use the soft seafoam and ink that up. And so now you just stamp right over top of this, and it's the same shape, pretty much the same size. And so you get this great background stamp. It makes it so easy. You don't have to, so it's two-step stamping, but it's one single stamp, which is very handy. So if you haven't seen these reversible stamps, take a look at them. Okay, gosh, that's a really cool turtle, but I'm not going to use it. All right, let's get going. Closing my lids on my ink pads. Let those dry a minute. Okay, so when it's warped a little bit, I'm going to end up using tear and tape. You can take your bone folder, and I'll do that in just a minute and try and straighten it. But what I want to do is I want to cut this. So I've got a piece of Summer Splash that I cut to 3 3/4 by 5. So I want to cut this to be 3 1/2 by 4 3/4. And I want to make sure, what is it, 3? So I'm going to end up cutting 3/4 of an inch off. So I want to make sure I don't cut all of that green off. So we'll just take a bit off of there. And then we'll put that at the 3 1/2 inch. So now I've got my width to be 3 1/2. And so another, okay, so 3/4 of an inch off. So by making it bigger, I said this before, making it bigger than you, the final measurement, you can then trim off the pieces that maybe you don't like as much as others. Sometimes our edges aren't as nice as we'd like them to be. Okay, I am going to use Terran tape because my basic white has warped a little bit, and so this will just help adhere it down right at the edges. So actually I'll just put one in the middle. That should do it. Get my backing off of my Terran tape. Like that. And Terran tape will stick right away, so make sure you're kind of get it positioned where you want it before you press down too hard. There we go. Now, I think I'm going to do, so I have a piece of soft sea foam hard base, so 4 1/4 by 11. 4 1/4 by 11. So we'll score it at 5 1/2. Fold into the mountain. You guys are probably sick of me saying that, but I actually say that more for me than I do for you, because I have to remind myself, oh, isn't that a pretty color combination of soft sea foam and Summer Splash? Almost looks like sand, but no, I'm not going to do it that way. Okay, so we're going to use glue. Well, before I do that, let's put our turtles and stuff on here, and then, because I think I'm going to put some ribbon. And I need to do, oh gosh, that little turtle might have to go in the inside of my card. But there's some other images on this stamp that allow you to create kind of backgrounds. So let's do some, I think these are bubbles. So let's do some bubbles. Figure out which way that goes. Let's use Pool Party and do some bubbles. How dark is this? Yep. Okay, I want to stamp this off because this Pool Party is feeling a little dark to me. A little bit. And then we'll just kind of, should have done that before I glued it on. So let's do this, and then all right, a little bit of background on there, like that. And then I need to stamp my sentiment. So I'm going to stamp one of these. I think I'm going to use this. Oh, let's see how big it is. Feels a little big. Maybe that one. Yeah, there's a lot of thank yous and thanks in this to choose from, which is why I love this. Okay. So I'm going to stamp my sentiment in Summer Splash. that. And then let's put our turtle. It's kind of bent. Use some dimensionals. Hey, Kathleen, welcome. Haven't seen you on for a little bit. Okay, let's see. I think I'm going to put more dimensionals than I typically do because my turtle's a bit warped too. So he's definitely got a lot of dimensionals on him to make him stick. I'm going to put my little turtle on the inside of my card, and then I said I was going to put ribbon, but I don't know if I am. But we'll now put this on. I've got some shimmer gems, the Summer Splash shimmer gems, and I think we'll use that on the front. So again, a little bit warped, so hold down the corners. And if it still pops up a little bit on the corners, you can use a glue dot. That works really well to hold it in place. Okay, so now let's just take and glue this little turtle on the inside of my card, like that. Okay, I think that's kind of pretty. I will have to play with smooshing a little bit more. Now let's pull out some of the Summer Splash shimmer gems. These are the 2024 to 2026 shimmer gems. So all of the new in colors that we have. All right. There we go. I'm going to just close up a couple things. I got 2 ink pads that are open, and no doubt I'm going to put my finger in it or my elbow in it. Wouldn't be the first time. There we go. So that is the background and the turtle and the inside turtle are done using the smooshing technique. And I just love the idea of using your stamp pads on, either use them on your glass mat if you have it. You could use your silicone mat or just a piece of plastic from, like I said, I used one of the pieces of plastic that came off one of the new big embossing folders, which works really well. So you can also do this, like I said, my nails match. Yes, they do. You can also do that technique with reinkers. I find that one particularly messy, and the reinkers sometimes kind of all blend together. And if you're not watching which colors you use, when you mix colors, you can get kind of a brown color when the colors go together. So you kind of have to watch where they are on the color wheel. And I can never remember how that works. I really need to figure it out. But so you need to watch where your colors are on the color wheel to know whether they're going to make brown when they mix together. So if you put blue and green together, let's see, blue and yellow together, you're going to get green and various things, but sometimes you get brown. So that's my issue. It's just a little bit messier with the reinkers, but you can certainly do it that way. All right, everybody, hope you enjoyed that. And I'd love to see if you try it. I'd love to see what your cards look like, because everybody's is going to look differently. And you can see from the 2 pieces that I did, they look different from time to time. So that's kind of fun. Looking at the comments. Yeah, I didn't either, Connie. I didn't have anything like this in my stash, but it's pretty cool. I can see all sorts of uses for it. I've got some really great pictures of Mexico. I didn't go snorkeling in Mexico in May, but I've got some really cool pictures of the ocean that I think the turtle will look amazing on some scrapbook pages too. All right, everybody, thanks for joining me. Now, I will be live on Saturday. I just have to check the time. I have a stamp camp going on that I know some of you are part of. So I'm just not sure what time I'm doing my live. And so check to see which time I'm going live before you try and join at the regular time. It may be the regular time of 11 o'clock Pacific, but it may change just a little bit because of my stamp camp. All right, everybody, thanks for joining me. Hope you have a great evening. Happy stamping.